On to the 1,000 guineas, and we had declarations today for the 6-day declarations, because of course the 1,000 guineas takes place at Newmarket on Sunday, May the 5th, and it's similar to the male equivalent, really, as you were in the anti-post betting market. It's very little change, and as we said a few weeks ago, I whispered it quietly at the time, but I can say it with a bit more confidence this time. I hope I'm wrong, but it does look a below average renewal to me, if I'm honest. Fallen Angel and Ylang Ylang compete for favouritism at the top of the market as we speak, around 4-1, 7-2, 4-1. The pair, they both won Group 1s on their final starts as 2-year-olds. It's fair enough to find them at the top of the market on that evidence. I've had some stick in the comments in the last few weeks, and it might well be fair enough. I could well be proved wrong, but I've been against Fallen Angel, and I am struggling to be impressed by the form of the Moy-Glare. I've said this for some time. A race which I thought somewhat fell into Fallen Angel's lap a little bit. She was up with the pace at a track where it is very much favourable to be up with the pace at the Curragh. The 6-5 favourite on that occasion in the Moy-Glare was Ylang Ylang, and she absolutely bombed out. 6-5 favourite, and she was last of 9. She was upsides Fallen Angel at about the furlong and a half kind of range, and Ylang Ylang fell back very, very quickly. And Fallen Angel, to be fair to her, went on and won well with authority at the line. But other than Ylang Ylang, who bombed out, finished last at 6-5, I don't think there was a lot else in the race, to be honest. If you can find me someone that came into 2024 flat season saying, I'm looking forward to seeing Vespertilio and Ornelia, really, was you? I don't believe you. They were 2nd and 3rd in the Moy-Glare. 4th was Porta Fortuna, who won the Group 1 Cheveley Park on her next start. Fair enough. Great form. But Porta Fortuna won't be staying a straight mile in a month of Sundays at Newmarket, in my opinion. Yes, she went over and finished 2nd or 3rd, I think, in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Mile, round 2 bends. Porta Fortuna, she might run on Saturday, but she ain't staying, and she definitely ain't winning. So yes, Fallen Angel did win well at the Curragh. In the end, battled quite well, extended her lead near the line as Vespertilio kind of fell away and Fallen Angel stamped her authority. Fair enough. I just don't think the form is up to that much and is worth taking on. It's all price-based. If Fallen Angel was coming here as a Group 1 winner by, the best part of 2 lengths at the Curragh, and she was 10-1, oh, well, I might be interested. But she's 7-2, and I do think there's got to be question marks over that form. But it is all a game of opinions. And I've got a question about Fallen Angel, and I might be clutching at straws here because I have had some stick in the comments about my being against Fallen Angel. Is she guaranteed to train on this Fallen Angel? Just ask yourself the question, because I'm not sure. Her 3 siblings certainly did not leap forward from 2 to 3, and her dam was certainly did not get anywhere near replicating her 2-year-old form as an older horse. Agnes Stewart, I think Fallen Angel's dam was. She was better. She was definitely better at 2 than she was at 3 or 4. But to be fair, I'll give it you, Agnes Stewart. The dam of Fallen Angel did have injury problems and was off the track a long time before returning. I think as a 4-year-old, where she didn't show any form at all. But yeah, Fallen Angel's 3 siblings, I wouldn't say they've took a leap forward from the 2-year-old to older form. So that's another question mark there. If Fallen Angel wins, fair enough. It won't be with my money on, and I'll take some stick in the comments. But I've said for quite a long time, and I have had another look today, she is not for me, Fallen Angel. Last week, when we did a last update of the 1,000 Guineas anti-post, I thought Dance Sequence was still a very big player in the 1,000 Guineas itself. But she is making me scratch my head a little bit now, this Dance Sequence, for Godolphin. They've got 2 representatives at the moment in the 1,000. It might have well been a nice trial in the Nell Gwyn, very much with the big day in mind, as Charlie Appleby said before and after the race. But even if Dance Sequence was to improve £10 for that Nell Gwyn performance, where, maybe not everything went right, she looked like she needed the fitness, all the cliches, blah, blah, blah. Even if she's to improve £10 on that, I still don't think that is enough to win this race. So last week, maybe I would have been a backer. If I had to choose between backing and lane Dance Sequence, maybe I would have been a backer. I think she was about 6 or 7-1. Now, I would probably side on the side of being a layer. She's 5-1. Wouldn't be for me. I do think she's, got to improve quite a long way. The form, the horses that she finished in front of in the Nell Gwyn, not up to much. Yeah, plenty of questions to ask for Dance Sequence. Connections of Pretty Crystal have paid £30,000 for her to be supplemented following her shock win in that Nell Gwyn against Dance Sequence a couple of weeks ago. Richard Fahey's come out and said afterwards that even he was shocked. This is a horse that was beaten last year at listed level, Pretty Crystal, and then has come out and won the Nell Gwyn. Yeah, she's gone in at 30 grand to be supplemented. She's about 20 to 1. I'm on record as liking See the Fire for the 1,000 guineas. I have been for some time, and regular viewers are hopefully on at double the price that See the Fire currently is now. That's around 10 to 1. The case has already been made by me, but I will repeat for new listeners. Thanks for coming. 3 runs in an 8-week period last year for See the Fire. She didn't make her debut until August. Won a maiden, nice and easy. Chucked in at a Group 2 on just her second start and ran really quite well. Despite clearing experience, she actually nearly ran into the back of the winner that day at Doncaster. The third and the rest were quite a way behind. So she signalled herself there as a good but inexperienced horse. Then connections were not deterred by that finishing second. She would have had other options. She was then pitched in at Group 1 level in the Fillies Mile at Newmarket over course and distance of the same course and distance as the 1,000 guineas. Eventually, 1.25 lengths behind Ylang in third. Well supported in the betting on the day was See the Fire, backed into around 6 to 1. SP, and she definitely hit the front too early under Oisin Murphy. He has admitted as much, I think, in the press since. She was weaving around a little bit late on, again, showing a little bit of inexperience, but then did stay on again and showed enthusiasm once again when joined by other horses late on. Ylang being one of them, who's the 4 to 1 second favourite for this race, and Shawawi, who would have been maybe around 6 or 7 to 1 for this race, but unfortunately has met with a setback, and we'll see Shawawi later in the season. So I did like See the Fire, plenty of promise in her 3 starts going up and up the levels last year. She's definitely a big player in this 1,000 guineas, in my opinion. If she's improving into a 3-year-old frame, as her breeding suggests she will, by Dubarwi out of the Judmont winner that in the same ownership that they had for Andrew Boulding a few years ago. So she's bred to improve as a 3-year-old. I think she did really well in a short space of time in 2023. Hopefully coming on for the experience, bigger field, they might be able to hide her away and deliver her late. And in stark contrast to my usual opinion on horses going straight to the Guineas as a 3-year-old, I actually like the fact that Andrew Boulding has done that with this See the Fire. I think that's just what she needs. Plenty of time. It's been the plan for a long time. Plenty of time to fill out that frame. And like I say, hopefully improving as a 3-year-old. Another one to mention for the 1,000 guineas, I already kind of gave a mention last week and a few weeks ago. Remachuel will be of big interest to many, including me. This is the French horse from last season, the only French potential contender at this time. I see no reason why she won't run, particularly given that 15 mil of rain that Newmarket had over the weekend. I would argue that Remachuel actually has the best form of any horse in the 1,000 guineas. A Group 2 and Group 3 winner on French soil last year. She went off even money favourite for the Prix Mornay against her opposite sex as well, only to be beaten and nosed by Van Dijk. Van Dijk then went on to prove how good he was in a Group 1 on his very next start, the Middle Park Stakes at Newmarket as well. Great form. That's one of the best Prix Mornays we've seen for a long time, stacked with talented animals in there. The likes of River Tiber, Sacred Angel, Valiant Force, Elite Status, Jasseur was in there as well, all well beaten by Remachuel on the day. And she's the only horse in this field with experience against the male horses. I think that's a key thing to take out as well for Remachuel. She did run a typical trial when she was second in the pre-Imprudence at Deauville earlier this month. Hardly touched. I mean, it was a typical, jog, sprint kind of French race. Now, you might pick holes in me for saying I've gone off Dance Sequence because she finished second and didn't beat a great field, but Remachuel, she finished second and I'm with her. Yeah, that's fair enough. But if you watch the 2 races, I think if Dance Sequence was good enough to win a 1,000 guineas, even if she was 80% fit, she should have been winning that Nell Gwyn, in my opinion. If you go back and watch this, Remachuel honestly was hardly touched, and it was on heavy, bad ground at Deauville quite early in the season as well, nearly a month ago now, which is a couple of weeks before the likes of Dance Sequence ran. Remachuel would have been no way near fit if this indeed was the main target. It sounds like I'm making excuses, but yeah, just go and watch it. Hardly touched. The rainfall, as I mentioned, will definitely help her cause. And I think this Remachuel will stay a mile on breeding, no problem. And a running style, actually, as well. There'll be a lot of talk this week. Anyone talking about Remachuel will say, I don't know if she stays. I think she stays. I don't think she stays. I think Remachuel will stay. We'll find out Sunday if I'm proven wrong or right on that front. And young trainer Christopher Head will be out to make a statement He's the trainer of Ramatuel, and he had Big Rock and other big name horses taken from his yard last week and moved elsewhere down the road in France. That was pretty shocking at the time. He'll be out to make a statement, and he could potentially do it with Ramatuel. As before with the 2,000 guineas, no bets to advise at this anti-post stage. We might as well wait for Thursday, particularly with the 1,000 guineas. We might get 4 places. There's 21 runners entered at the moment. Some of you will already be on See the Fire, as advised a few weeks ago. Fingers crossed here. But as you can tell by the last minute or so, Ramatuel is likely to feature in the Thursday show as well. We'll see what the last minute jockey bookings, ground, etc., number of runners. So there's plenty to come this week on Races Now. We'll be back with SD on Tuesday with an anti-post special. There's anti-post races priced up at Newmarket on Friday, Saturday and Sunday. There's big Goodwood races on Saturday as well. And SD has told me to earmark the Button the Hook handicap at Hamilton on Sunday. Whether that'll be priced up or not, I do not know. We'll be back on Thursday for our usual Saturday preview, and on Friday there is going to be a special preview of Sunday's big racing, including the 1,000 guineas. That'll be on Friday night as well. So keep it here on Races Now, and thanks for watching.